Good evening. Welcome to the March 10th, 2025 meeting of the Pequannock Township Council. Ms. Marsh?
In accordance with the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice, which was filed in the office of the Township Clerk, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, published as a legal notice in the Suburban Trends and Daily Record newspapers, and distributed to all persons requesting notice in accordance with Township policy.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a prayer and a moment of thanks for individuals serving our nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Providence, we ask that you bless this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding, so that every deliberation will result in action, which will promote the common good for the general welfare for all the people of Pequannock Township. Amen.
Amen. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Dreese?
I'm here.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Here.
Mr. Cole is absent. Mr. Siracusa?
Here.
Mayor Russell?
Here. Next on our agenda is the swearing in of fire department officers. If I can have all the officers up front, and I'd like the council to join me down below in front of the dais.
One of the lieutenants walking in right now to help me work. Wait 30 seconds.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'll use that time to say that Dave Cole really wanted to be here. He wanted to try to move this to another date. It wasn't available, but he just started with it. He had other plans, but he did want to be here for that. And he sends his regard and thanks for all you have.
I guess really quick for comfortable. Really quick.
Oh, you want to
Nobody wanted it.
I was like, I'm getting in there. All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Wish I lost my
Turn sideways, it makes you look skinnier.
I usually just stand next to Dave. Everybody shook down a little so everybody can be seen.
Good to see more younger guys.
Yeah, feel real good.
Very good.
It's not time. Good job, Rick.
Can everybody be seated? You know what, I'm going to move this, we're going to go down a little bit, let's come over here. Nobody needs to see this, you want to see that? Okay, if you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Hunter Sager,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and I bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of, state your position,
all the duties of chief
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let me do this. Can we go on the outside?
Yeah, we should be on the outside. Congratulations for all you do. You guys are great. Glad you made it.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you. Just made it. Congratulations.
What did they say about you?
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
So if you want, we here at the same time next month. Come in your uniform.
So before everybody wants to take a picture, definitely take some pictures in your time.
Yeah, I mean, you all see your families are here. You want us to take pictures?
escape before I get too embarrassed you in front of the whole group. I was going to call you out.
Take pictures. Did anybody get out the door, or did we stop them all?
Good to see you. If you want to stay, I'm good. When you do this for a living, it's not as fun to watch, which is why I was going to get you if you're still in here. Good to see you. You too, Michael.
You guys, I didn't notice him, I noticed you.
Sympathy with.
I think so. She was like this. I'm like, are you living? She's like, no, he is. I'm like, you were just. Really?
I love your blazer. You look great. You take family pictures.
If they knew you
So I'm just gonna let you know that I'll bring that up.
Well, just so you know, I had that same exact conversation with Adam today.
Yeah, so.
Well, we can. W overtime, right? So I just want to know what the numbers are. Like, they must have a book that says they made
Everybody's a record.
that would be for.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. You got everybody else?
One more, then we're at.
No, take your time. Take your time. There's only firematic. Like, if you remember there was like 14 of them?
Yeah.
I thought all of them were covered. Me too. It was just firematic guys. Apparently there's administration.
Thank you again.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Hey, guys. Stay
Bye,
safe.
guys.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for all you do.
They only asked for firematic. Or Jen
turned it into-
didn't say firematic.
That's because that's what I heard.
Yeah, well, that's what.
It was fun.
Apparently, there's two separate line officers. One is the firematic, one is administration.
All right.
I don't know.
I know that either.
So the chiefs requested that they're only firematic.
Great.
Everybody good? Okay. At this time, are there any reports or comments from any of the volunteers serving our community? Nothing?
Today, Peter.
The next item on the agenda is public comments. This comment period will be limited to a total of 30 minutes. Additional time is reserved later in the meeting. We welcome comments, suggestions, and questions. However, the purpose of this time is to allow public comment, not to engage in a dialogue. If you have a specific question, please feel free to pose it and then follow up with staff via telephone or email. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. If anyone wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized to come to the microphone and provide your name for the record.
Paul Mailer, Pequannock Township. I understood from the last town council meeting that you were encouraged to do an ordinance to prohibit ICE from operating a detention center in Pequannock Township. I don't see it on the agenda. So I guess I can assume that you're supporting the notion should they come into our community. But I'm here tonight to offer a short quiz. The subject of the quiz is, am I or are you an American fascist? Fascism being characterized by extreme right-wing, authoritarian, and ultra-nationalist ideology that forcibly suppresses opposition. If it sounds familiar, it should. It defines the Trump administration. So here's the test. If you think the Tomahawk missile that killed Iranian schoolgirls wasn't fired by the American military, here's a hint for you. The only force currently in the region armed with Tomahawks and capable of firing Tomahawks is the United States. If you know that American military leaders have described their new war as, quote, God's divine plan, and think that sounds right. If you know that Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth is a Christian nationalist who speaks of a holy war, but still think our sons and daughters should die for that cause. If you think it's appropriate that ICE forcibly and often violently detains American citizens for having the audacity to film their activities. If you think it's appropriate for ICE to wear masks, but not your local police department. If you know that the ICE detention centers have wrongfully detained at least 170 American citizens since Trump took office, but think that's okay. If you think that the infamous January 6th attack on the United States Capitol was anything but violent sedition. If you think Trump's pardon of Proud Boys convicted of felony sedition was somehow morally appropriate. If you think that those same Proud Boys, convicted felons, should be members of ICE goon squads, as they currently are. If you're complicit with any of these and recited the Pledge of Allegiance tonight, hang your head in shame. You're not a patriot. You're just a pathetic Trumper. Thank you for your time.
Is there anyone else for public comment? There being no additional public comments, we will continue with the agenda. The next item on our agenda is the manager's report. Mr. Brewer.
Thank you, ma'am. Nice to see the fire department and folks associated with the fire department come out. It's always great to support the volunteers. So that was item number one, as previously discussed at the last council meeting. With respect to the balance of the items on my report, they all cover agenda, scheduled anticipatory action. The first is the Bach Automotive Sewer Connection. There was discussion last October, the second meeting, regarding an approval for Bach Automotive to receive relief from the obligation of extending the sewer main down the street and allowing a connection directly to a manhole through what is essentially a long lateral, which is colloquially referred to as a spaghetti line. Council approved the conceptual idea, but directed that staff and professionals work together to prepare the necessary agreements to memorialize the procedure moving forward to protect both the township and the developer. So that is scheduled for the council's consideration. We went out, as we do annually, for the PV Park concession stand. This year we received a proposal from a local vendor, Defying Gravity, who provided the highest quote. Unlike golf, it's better to have the higher number when you're getting contributions. So we have that scheduled for approval. And somewhat with some sadness associated with it, we are pleased to sell 101 Chatfield Drive, which was an affordable unit that the township was in a position to take possession of. And that's where the sadness comes from. But ultimately, the Public Works Department and all the staff was involved in rehabilitating the affordable unit, keeping it as an affordable unit, and then we've navigated the process over a couple of years to sell that. So there's a resolution authorizing the sale of 101 Chatfield Drive. And then lastly, within the resolutions for approval, there is a designated special event for the street fair. Last year, there was some discussion regarding costs. I just want to call to the council's attention the fact that the costs that are estimated by the respective department heads of the Public Works Department and the Police Department are on the resolution. So respectfully, I would request that the council either decide to continue with the waiver of those fees, approve those fees, or take any other action the council so desires. expires. So I just wanted to call that to the governing body's attention. Unless there's any questions, that is my report.
Did we get any new information about how much they made last year, how much the chamber got?
I don't have any facts or figures.
Can we postpone approving this till we get those facts?
That is up to the council.
What do you think?
This is the same conversation I had today. I would definitely want the figures, because before, what kind of number are we talking about? I mean, it was a pretty high number. And-
Just shy of $17,000.
Yeah, so
associated with
I
the
think
events.
we need to see what chamber made, if anything, and what the event company made.
Right, because we're doing it for a private company.
Yeah.
And I know we said last year, like, okay, we'll try it this year, we'll see how it does, and they had told us they would open their books to us
Yeah.
this year, correct?
Yeah, just to see how it went last year, like we...
It was packed.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
That's what I would want to do,
If that's the council's desire, my recommendation
unless you
would-
just give it to them.
Yes.
That works for me.
Vinnie?
Yeah, I just want to hear
It'd be
what
nice.
the manager's recommendation is.
I would just say respectfully, when it comes time to take action on the resolutions for approval, pull that one.
Okay.
When the motion is made.
mean-
And I will follow up to get additional information and come back to the council with that in a report.
I see
Don't you
one.
think that's a reasonable request to want to know? 'Cause I
It's
remember-
the council's
Yeah.
deciding what to support and not support, so if you want to have an understanding
And
of
you
what's
said
involved
most
in
of
it.
that money goes to police, overtime, and DPW?
So based upon the estimates that were provided by the respective department heads, the Public Works Department estimates $9,200, and the Police Department estimates $7,722.09. if we're
Right.
going to pennies.
I mean, we want to support the street fair, it's just a matter of
We want to
how
support
much.
it, but if it's a private company, if we're
Correct.
paying this money and they're making
I agree.
$100,000.
Well, let's just see what it is.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, we'll pull that.
Okay.
That was the agreement too, so.
Yeah, that was
talked about
part of the
last year.
discussion last time. Okay. So then, the next agenda item is resolutions. Ms. Marsh?
Beginning with Resolution R 2026-86, approving the designated special event permit application, which has now been pulled. 2026-87, awarding a contract to the concession operator for the Pequannock Valley Park Lake Concession Stand to Defying Gravity for the total contribution amount of $3,500 in accordance with the request for proposals. 2026-88, authorizing temporary emergency appropriations for operating purposes. 2026-89, authorizing the execution of an employment agreement between the Township of Pequannock and Township Manager Adam Brewer. 2026-90, authorizing an extension of the Township sanitary sewer line with waivers and the execution of a sanitary sewer extension agreement with William C. Bach. 2026-91, confirming the sale of public property no longer needed for public use, located at 101 Chatfield Drive, Block 1101, Lot 9, qualifier C0101, in the Township of Pequannock. 2026-92, authorizing utility office refunds, overpayments, or cancellations. 2026-93, authorizing tax office refunds, overpayments, or cancellations. And R 2026-94, approving payment of the itemized claims as set forth on the March 5th, 2026 bill list and FEMA elevation escrow list.
Are there any comments on the resolutions from council?
Just that I'm glad to see a local business be the,
Right.
concession stand at the park, and
I wish them well.
glad that we finally got 101
People love it there.
Yeah, glad that you finally got 101 Chatfield under contract. That I know was a long haul.
Yep.
And hopefully everything will go good with the agreement with the sewer line. So I'm good with everything.
Okay. Is there a motion to adopt these resolutions?
I'll make the motion.
Say them, because we're
Okay,
deleting.
so I'll make a motion to move R2026-87 through R2026-94.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Treese?
Yes.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Siracusa?
Yes.
Mayor Russell?
Yes. There are no items listed for discussion, and there are no reports or notices. The next item on our agenda is council reports and announcements. Councilman Dreese.
Thank you, Mayor. First thing, I love the warmer weather, thank you. It's nice to see the sun. I'd like to just congratulate the fire officers again, but also a big thank you to everybody that serves on our volunteer fire department. I know we talk about the officers a lot, but there's a lot of people that put on the coats and run into the buildings too. So thank you for all you do for our town. Again, with Melissa, and I think it's nice to see a local operator for PV Park. And also, there seems to be a lot of assumptions going on running around lately. I don't know why. It seems a little odd to me, but there's a lot of assumptions, so I'll leave it at that. And I'd just like to just offer a prayer for all the military members that have lost their life in the last couple weeks. Yeah. So, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, John. Councilwoman Florence Lynch?
Yes, I really just have a couple of announcements. I even left some flyers on the table, just some events coming up. Since Dave isn't here, I'll just mention the Company 2 Fish and Chips Dinner. That's for Company 2. That's this Friday from 4:30 to 7:30. I don't know if there's tickets still available, but see one of your fire Company 2 guys if you want fish and chips. I think it's dine-in or takeout. Let's see, what else do I have? I have a ribbon cutting coming up this Saturday. It is for Pennington Mortgage. They're located in the Century 21 building on Route 23. I don't know the exact address, but you know where that is, on the other side of the highway. That's at 11 o'clock. The Knights of Columbus is holding their annual St. Patrick's Day event. It's a dinner dance, and that's this Saturday. I don't know if there's tickets still available, but I heard that they were like pretty much close to being sold out. You'd have to contact an officer at the Knights of Columbus for that. If anybody needs a contact, I can give you one, but I saw it on Facebook. So that food packing event, that is this weekend. I don't know how many people are going to do that, but that's that annual food packing event, which is that run by the church or by the Community Partners of Hope?
Community Partners for Hope.
So the Community Partners of Hope runs that every year, which is great. Members of all the local churches and a lot of volunteer organizations. As a matter of fact, I'm supposed to be in 3 different time slots with 3 different organizations doing the event, but it's a good community event, and you're really helping out in that arena. What else? Pequannock Valley Rotary, they are holding a comedy show in April. It's April 18th on a Saturday. You can see any Rotary member for tickets to that event. That is over at the Lincoln Park American Legion. So spring is in full swing, and everybody is having a lot of events, so let's support our community. I also want to mention a couple of things with the senior group. If you're no Disc 55, that's the senior group at the senior house. They're running a St. Patty's Day luncheon, corned beef and cabbage, and everything else catered by Thatcher McGee's. That's Thursday, March 19th from 12 to 2, and that's at the senior house, and it's only $28. You get corned beef and cabbage, potatoes, Irish scone, beverages, dessert. It's pretty good. So if anybody wants more information about that, there's a flyer up there, or go to the senior house. I think there's a sign-up sheet there. Also, 2 other quick things I wanted to mention. We have a senior citizen advisory committee at the town here. They're hosting a senior health fair, and that's going to be held across the street on April 28th from 11 to 2. And it's at the First Reformed Church at Friendship Hall. You can come in and meet, all the senior resource group members. There's a group called the Senior Resource Group of New Jersey. They actually organize the whole event and bring in all the vendors. There'll be some local people here as well. So there'll be a lot of different healthcare professionals there, and education, and so sign up for that. And last but not least, Pequannock Valley Rotary is hosting a senior luncheon. That's going to be Wednesday, May 6th, across the street from 12 to 2 at the First Reformed Church, Friendship Hall. So I had a couple of people. You can either sign up at the senior house. There's a sign-up sheet there. If you're part of Hurl Village, there's a sign-up sheet there. Or if you're just a senior in town and you don't know who to call, my cell phone number's on here. And I have gotten some calls already, but that's a nice event as well. So, other than that, the only other thing I wanted to mention, we had planning board meeting last night. Very short meeting. All we did was a resolution for approval for the Pequannock Township Board of Ed, who is purchasing that property across from the library for their offices. Other than that, I don't have anything. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Siracusa?
Sure, so Parks and Rec met, nothing significant to report came out of that, except they're still hiring lifeguards, which is great. Open Space meeting, Open Space met, did a review of the current projects, and there was some very good discussion on the aquatic park access. So I think that's trending in the right direction, so I think we're going to have a favorable outcome on that.
Okay.
So once everything's
That'd be
finalized
nice.
with that, we'll be able to, absolutely report on that, so.
Great.
Other than that, I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Thank you. Environmental meets tomorrow at 7:30 right at the senior house. Don't forget the river cleanup is April 11th from 9 to 1. It's actually a very fun event. You go in, they give you gloves, or you can bring gloves, and then you go to different spots in the town, and we do cleanup as a group, and it's actually fun afterwards. You go back to the senior house, there's lunch. Library reopening March 16th, so come on in, take a look. It looks amazing. The Library Fest will be April 18th. And the first aid this month, February, 91 calls. 91 calls in 28 days. That's a lot. They do so much. 44 of those were to Cedar Crest, so almost half were to Cedar Crest. And just want to thank all of our volunteers, firemen, first aid, everything, our group volunteers, everybody. They all add to our town 100%. Thank you. Next on the agenda is public comment. As a reminder, we welcome comments, suggestions, and questions rather than dialogue. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. If anyone wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized and come to the microphone and provide your name for the record.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mary Kay Schmerman. The first thing I'd like to talk about is I want to state my opinion that I'm against the war that is going on against Iran. It's illegal. I know that there are at least 7 military people that have arrived back in Dover Air Force Base in Dover, Delaware, and I think Vinny has been there several times, as I recall some of his comments. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I was there once. Yep,
So
absolutely right.
it's a pretty solemn occasion that happens, and when you have a war that we haven't figured out why we're there, and then to hear of oil raining down on 10 million people in Tehran is unbelievable. And that's because the United States decided to start this war. So that's where I'm coming from at this point. And then I wanted to follow up on some of Paul's comments, and my question to you as a council, a number of us in Pequannock are concerned about ICE, and whether or not as a town council you would approve or think it's okay to have an ICE facility here in town. And one of the questions that was asked at the last council meeting was whether or not there's zoning already in place in Pequannock to not allow these kind of facilities. So I'm following up on the 2 proposals that Megan was talking about last week, and whether or not you're thinking of doing a resolution, getting together, and whether or not anybody has checked on the zoning laws. So that's my comment.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Can't see around the bush. Okay, next on the agenda is minutes for approval. I have the January 13th reorganization meeting and the January 13th regular meeting. Are there any comments on these minutes?
Nope.
Is there a motion to approve these minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, the reorganization meeting of January 13th, and the minutes from the council meeting, January 13th as well.
I'll second.
All in favor? Opposed? Next on the agenda is a closed session discussion. Is there a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the Township Council to meet in executive session to discuss matters of attorney-client privilege?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? At this time, the public portion of the meeting is recessed for closed session.